Hey, Axis and Allies players, the good captain here. Welcome to round 8 in this game of Axis and Allies D-Day, played against a human opponent. Okay, coming very close to the end very quickly. On the Allied side of round 8, the German bombers targeted the AA guns in Reen's right, just as they did in the last turn, and the result was identical. One AA gun was destroyed, the remaining two fired back. No hits were scored on the enemy bombers, or Allied bombers. There were two combats. The first occurred in Cherbourg, where the inevitable attack began. Okay, the Allies rolled -1 and a third, I think, here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13. 1 and a sixth. So they basically -1 this. And the Germans -0.66. That's not terribly interesting. The one that is G27. In this battle, the Allies attack with a well-balanced force, 4 infantry, 2 artillery, 2 armor. The Germans only have 5 pieces, all core units, and the Allies with the roll. This is minus 2.33. I think that's the second turn in a row where this happens. The Germans roll back +2. So to add salt to the wounds, this is about as extreme a single battle could be in this game. This is just nuts. That is nuts. Okay. So I get to the end of the... So that's it. Now we're getting to the end here, and one weakness in this strategy that I'm employing as the Germans became apparent to me regardless of the dice. Now the dice being so favorable so recently to the Germans, I think has opened up an opportunity. But one thing I noticed was that although the Germans want to launch this attack on turn 9, and so this would seem something like this, where you just sort of posture around the city, seems right. There are 8 British pieces in Caen. There are 2 British armor here, so that's 10 pieces. That's enough to put 3 pieces in each of these zones. And the odds are that at least 1 and probably 2 of these zones would get gummed up, and that these 6 pieces could just move in here. Sorry, these 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 12 pieces back here, so Caen would be fully occupied. The British absolutely, to improve their odds, should counterattack because they have Caen with 8 pieces no matter what. So the British counterattack all 3 spaces. They don't even need to win them all. They just need to gum up something more than 8 German pieces. So they just have to have contested zones here to really muck up the whole strategy. So that's one side. And to a lesser extent, that same concept applies here with, with perhaps one exception, but it really is kind of the same thing. We can more or less rotate around St. Lo, as you see here. We don't have to worry about this contested zone here. There's no way the Allies can clear it now that they rolled so poorly. So all of our units we're just ignoring that zone now. It's pointless for us. The Allies are going to be stuck here all for round 9, so it doesn't matter. But in theory, the Allies could just counterattack, have these pieces move in. Although this is 4 zones versus Caen's 3, and there's not as many reinforcement pieces in the back thanks to this weird German victory east of St. Lo. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this weird dance around St. Lo and not attack because it's an inferior position, I think, for the Allies when compared to Caen. But in the Caen sector, we are going to attack because we can't be molested in this corner here. We'll send in 8 pieces this turn and 8 pieces next turn, so long as Caen is contested. So that's the big if. Okay, first things first, let's send these pieces across. Let's send Cherbourg across. Cherbourg may win the game on its own, just not enough pieces were destroyed in that first round of combat for the Germans. So the whole game could be over because of what happened up here. And the bombers can't influence that battle because you can't bomb contested zones. Okay, so here we'll move an AA gun, and I think it's 3. I think we have 4 pieces here. That makes this 8. 8. 8. Okay, so we have a nice wall of Germans that are going to be very tough to interdict as the American player. Essentially, to make this work, this force has to attack here, and this force has to split into 3 groups, sending 3 infantry here, or 3 pieces here, 3 pieces here, and 2 pieces here. And yeah, none of them have to. They all 3 must succeed in creating at least a contested zone to lock up the Germans on round 9. Okay, and finally we move here. This one not quite clear to me here. Certainly we need to 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, this is the attack group here. Yeah, 100%. We are sending everyone from here into here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that means we'll move here like so, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3, 4, 5. And then, yeah, and then we send them in, and this is it. Here we go. 3 hits. Okay, so Allies shot. Yeah, Allies shot. Oh, no, that's, hang on, I gotta roll. That's only 1 fighter, so this is actually going really well for the Allies. I have to roll 3 dice for the remaining pieces. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to roll 3 dice for each for the remaining pieces that survived. We have 1 armor, 2 arty, and 2 infantry. So let's see if anything makes it, because this is 1 piece made it. Look at that distribution. That is maximum efficiency. No, well, I guess we didn't. Yeah, look at that. No double ones. Wow. Okay, so 1 infantry is remaining. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do this one offline because AAA won't let me edit these pieces out, but it's not going to be tough. It's just 1 infantry. That's incredible. 7 of 8 hits. Again, the statistics were more like 4. So that was plus 3 allies. Very timely hit there. Okay, so now let's continue. I think it's just 2 battles then. We're not going to do the Khan fight. We'll do Cherbourg. Only 1 hit. Ooh, and the Americans rolled up in Cherbourg. Everything's falling apart pretty quick. Let's see if A27, this is more or less just a, this doesn't matter at all. Yeah, who cares? Okay. Okay, so I'll just do this here. The attacker missed, and the defenders kill him. So, no surprise there. Okay, so that's how you kill 9 or 8, an entire army without inflicting any hits on the enemy. That's how you do that. Let's do the non-combat move, and then I can't wait to see the dice report on this one. Yeah, so it came out to negative 7.83 allies. It actually worsened, and the Germans actually got better. With one small caveat, the low luck lie cuts both ways. According to this low luck method of recording hits, that strafe roll was only plus 1.66. Of course, we know that it was closer to plus 0.3 or plus 3 whole. So that would bring that down a bit, but it doesn't really matter. We're going to keep this same method of record. And this is pretty good for, I guess it's nearly, what is this, an 8-point disparity? There is a path for victory as the Allies. In fact, Khan has a very high probability. I think this one can be written off just based on that single catastrophic roll. The strategic implications of that are that very likely Khan is secure, probably in the 90-something percentile. This army can move out to the southeast and lock this one up in combat. And then, of course, units can pour in behind it to block these 5. Alternatively, these 2 British armor could try to lock up these 5 pieces in combat. In fact, there's essentially 10 pieces. You could split the attack 5-5. That would almost certainly lock them all out in combat. Anyway, there's options there that can be written off. What is more interesting is Cherbourg. Can the Americans have to bag all 4 pieces next turn at the top of their turn, or by the end of their turn, excuse me? That's probably going to happen. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 pips, gets 2 kills, and then we have to attack. And so Cherbourg has probably an 80-something% chance of being written off as well. Okay, so it really is going to come down to St. Lo and what happens here. This does look pretty grim for the Allies, I have to say. The Allies have to respect the fact that the Germans could clear this zone, so there is ostensibly, the Allies must consider attack from all 5 quadrants. You have to account for all of it. So yeah, this is still a game. Despite this dice disparity, even when we take into account low luck, this is still negative Allies, positive German. This is by far the most, that roll and the outcome of it made this by far the most interesting game of D-Day I've played. So the riveting conclusion next turn. Till then, take care. Thanks for watching. All the best, and bye-bye.